أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء المرسلين محمد وأهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما الإمام المنتظر الحجة الثاني عشر روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى عن الحميد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي زدني علما صدق الله العلي العظيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, I hope everyone is well and everyone can hear me loud and clearly.
Yes, we can, Maulana.
Brilliant. Okay. Now, what I will be doing today, I want to finish off a few things. And with regards to the lesson, what we did last week, with regards to the Arabic text reading, I will cover that as well. But there's a few things which I need to cover from the basics. So that I can develop your understanding of the Arabic verb conjugations. Right, so what I'm going to do is the handout which I sent yourself, that and also the verb conjugations and their meanings I'm going to cover today. Now, you may remember from last time when we did the verbs, I mentioned something very basic to everyone, is that I said in the Arabic language, all verbs which have three letters, it has 6 conjugations. So the first one, which I taught everyone yourself, it was kataba yaktubu. So the past tense, all of them come with a fatha, and the present tense comes with a dhamma. That's pattern number 1. Then pattern number 2 was dharaba yadribu, that the present tense now is coming with a kasra. And then we had dharaba, the present tense coming with a kasra. So there's a second one. And then the third one was fataha yaftahu, the present tense coming with a fatha. So all of these 3 examples, the past tense came with a fatha, but the present tense, it had either a dhamma, a kasra, or a fatha. So these are the different 3 patterns for a 3-letter verb. Then the next 2, we did alima. Now the past tense, middle letter is coming with a kasra, and the present tense is coming with a fatha. And there are 2 patterns available for any verb whose middle letter, second radical in the past tense, which comes with a kasra. The present tense either comes with a fatha, as alima ya'lamu, or hasiba yahsibu. That's 5. Hasiba yahsibu, number 5. And finally, number 6, it was kabura yakburu, fa'ula yaf'ulu. Now, these are the 6 patterns for a 3-letter verb. Now, all of the verbs in the Arabic language, which contains 3 letters, will be formalized or be conjugated on these 6 patterns. So these are the basic 6 patterns for a 3-letter verb. Then we move on. Then we have additional letters which are added on to the original 3-letter verb. Then we have additional letters which are added on to the 3-letter verbs. So what they have done, they've actually put it this way. They've actually put only the 3, fa'ala, fa'ula, fa'ila, not mentioning that the present tense of fa'ula is only 1 form, so they did it slightly different. But the way I've done it, it's better to memorize it that way. So they put regular, those are the regular verbs. And those regular verbs, their meaning will exist in the dictionary. When you look for the three-letter verb, you'll find the meaning. Then you find is that we add additional letters, or we add like the shadda harakat to alter the original three-letter verb. Now, we can see over here now in yellow, fa'ala yufa'ilu. Fa'ala yufa'ilu. So there are many verses. Of course, I will send you more practices for this. Now, we did with yourselves, sallama yusallimu. Now, Sister Zamina. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Now, fa'ala yufa'ilu, the root letter is either fa'ala, fa'ula, or fa'ila, the three-letter verb. Now, over here, when we say fa'ala, how many letters do we have now?
4 letters.
How is it 4 letters?
Because the ayn has a shad there.
Correct.
So therefore it counts as 2 letters.
Correct. Now, fa'ala yufa'ilu. Now, the masdar is the root word. Now, every verb, now this pattern fa'ala yufa'ilu, the root word or the masdar is called, this one is taf'il. Taf'il is the actual, we call it, they've actually, if you see over here, they've called it the masdar, the root word. From this root word, we're able to make fa'ala yufa'ilu, even though in the root word there are additional letters added, but it always comes in these patterns, taf'il, taslim, tathir, and you will know that this is the masdar for a verb whose past tense will be fa'ala yufa'ilu taf'il, like sallama yusallimu taslim, tahara yutahhiru tathir. So always the pattern of the 4-letter verb of fa'ala yufa'ilu, the masdar, the root word, will always be the same. Is that clear? Even though it always comes the same, but you'll know from that this is for this verb, this root word is for this verb. Is that clear so far?
Yes.
Right. Now, whenever a verb now comes on the pattern of this with a shadda in the middle radical, it conveys 3 meanings. Of course, these 3 meanings for that meaning of that verb will not occur, all of these 3 meanings at once. They will occur according to the different meanings, the different words itself. For example, now any verb which comes on the pattern of fa'ala yufa'ilu, it can give the meaning of causative, that you are causing something, or it can mean intensive, that something which you're doing, or the action is quite intense, or it could come in the meaning of denominative. Denominative means that something which is done in small in small actions itself, in small quantities as well. So that is, now I'll explain what do I mean by these are the 3 meanings. Now, so remember this pattern. The pattern is this. Now, please look at this carefully and write this. Fa'ala yufa'ilu. You will see here, fa'ala, all of them have a fatha. The present tense here, they've also highlighted it in gray. You will see the difference between yufa'ilu and yaf'alu, yaf'ilu, yaf'ulu. There's 2 differences. What are the 2 differences, Zamina?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
What are the 2 differences between this pattern yaf'alu, yaf'ilu, yaf'ulu with yufa'ilu? Of course, you mentioned shadda. That's one of them. There's one more difference as well.
So the ya has a sukoon. I mean, that's dhamma on it, the first radical.
Yeah, the ya has a dhamma. That's one of them, and the third one, the third one is this as well, which you may have noticed, is that the fa here is not coming with a sukoon.
Yeah.
The fa is not coming with a sukoon. That is a really important one. This is a really important. Why is it so important? Does anyone know why?
For the imperatives?
MashaAllah. Thank you ever so much. Yes. So fa'ala yufa'ilu explains this, Zahra, why is the ya? Because the fa is not silent, it's important for the imperatives. Why? It's got it on the sheet as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam.
So, in order to make the imperative, we have to remove the harf madare. And if the next letter has a sukoon, we need to put in the alif. But if the letter already has a haraka, we don't need to put in the alif to make the imperative.
Excellent. Excellent. That is the answer which I was looking for. Thank you ever so much for that. Now, I think, let me just check. Did I give you... I had that. Okay, now I'm going to now ask someone to come on the mic. Someone who has not had a chance last week to come on the mic. Sister, okay, Sister Zahra, as you're on the mic, I want you to complete this as well. Now, look at this example here now. So look over here now. Wahada yuwahidu. Now, wahada, Sister Zahra, come on the mic and explain what's happening here.
So, wahada, this is the past tense, has all the fathas on it. In order to make it the present, the ya will take a dhamma. So it will become yuwahidu.
Correct. Now, yuwahidu is present tense. Now, I haven't wrote the imperatives on this, but you should have the ability, everyone. Now, the imperatives are made from where?
From the second person.
Correct.
So to wahidu, we remove the ta. And since wa already has a haraka, we don't need to put in the alif. So it will be wahid.
Conjugate the 6 forms now.
So wahid, wahid, wahida, wahidu, wahidi, wahidna.
Wahidna. Is this clear for everyone? Anyone need help? If it's a pin drop silence, I will ask questions to everyone.
Please repeat again.
Okay, so Zahra, what I want you to do, I want you to explain the imperatives, but I want you to explain completely what were the other rulings of the imperatives as well, so that it makes it clear for everyone.
So we make the imperative from the second person, and we need to remove the harf mazare, which is the ta. If the fa kalima, or the letter after the ta, if that has a sukoon, we need to bring in the alif in order to make the sound. Because the letter will have a sukoon, it won't make any sound. But if the letter already has a haraka on it, like wow has a fatha over here in this case, we don't need to bring in the alif. So it will be, and the last letter will take a sukoon. So the dhamma on the dal will be removed and replaced with a jazm. So it will be wahid.
And the next one? So what is removed here?
And in the dual, the noon is removed, the noon is dropped. And in the plural also, the noon is dropped for the masculine. In the feminine, the noon is not dropped.
Let's do it one by one so that everyone can follow. So tawahidani becomes?
Wahidani will become wahida.
Next one.
Then tuwahiduna will become wahidu.
So after dropping the noon, we replace it with an alif at the end.
Yes.
The next one.
And the wahidina will be wahidi. the ta will be removed from the harf madari and the noon is also dropped.
Correct.
And then it will be for the feminine dual, wahida, the noon is dropped. But in the feminine plural, the noon is not dropped. So it will be wahidna.
Wahidna. Thank you ever so much for that.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's go back. Now, then, where this one here? So now I'm going to now explain the meaning of fa'ala yufa'ilu. Now, over here, I'm going to ask now Sister Sabira Kanji. Sabira?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. You okay?
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Okay, it seems like the way you responded, I thought you would make me a bit tired or something.
No, just nervous because it's now getting a bit, this I found a bit difficult.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm doing this class. I'll support you for this because this is a really important change now we're doing. Now, look at this now. So fa'ala is the 4-letter verb now, having the middle letter having a shadda.
Yeah.
Now, what they have done here on the sheet now, what's happened is that they've got the original 3-letter verb. Nazala means he. What does nazala mean?
He got down.
He got down, and then he brought down.
Nazala. Yeah.
So what when someone brings something down, is this happening by himself or someone is doing this? Let's do the example. Let's
So
do the example.
nazala, okay, nazala is you got down, he got down himself.
Yep.
Nazala is something was brought down.
Exactly. So when you are causing something to be brought down, the meaning of causative is being achieved, that someone is causing something else to come down itself.
Yeah.
So if you look at the examples now, that's where they wrote meaning, usage, and relationship. Causative, meaning, that the meaning of causative is being achieved. Let's read the example in Arabic and translate. Go ahead, sister.
Okay. نزلت من السيارة ثم نزلت الطفلة. So the translation is I got down from the car, then I took down the child.
So I got down from the car. So I removed myself out the car, and then the child, did he walk out himself from the car or he crawl out the car? Did he crawl out the car? What happened to him?
No, he was taken down.
So he's taken down. So here, the meaning of causative is being achieved by changing the verb nazala to nazzala.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay.
Right. I'm going to ask you to do one more and then you can choose the next student. Now, darasa, he studied.
Yeah. And
no, just one second. Do you remember I spoke about transitive and intransitive verbs?
Yes.
So a transitive verb requires a verb, a doer, and an object. Do you remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
And an intransitive verb, it just requires a verb and an
action.
And an action. Look at this example here now. Nazaltu min as-sayyarati. So nazaltu is I.
Yeah.
Nazaltu is the verb as well. So I and the verb, it's intransitive verb. There's no object in this part of the sentence. There's no
object.
Yeah, in this part of the sentence. But over here,
yeah.
If we look over here, it says thumma nazaltu. So nazaltu is the verb, and who is doing the action of got down?
So it's the child that's been brought down.
Yeah, but who is doing the action of bringing the child out?
Oh, he is.
I am.
Yeah. Rather, yeah, I am.
I am, and atifla is the object.
Yeah.
So this is a transitive verb.
Okay.
So it's causative plus it's transitive, meaning that it will the original 3-letter verb, it completed its meaning with the verb and the doer. But when it comes in the meaning of causative, but when you, as you know, when there's a cause, there's an effect, correct?
Yes.
So if there's a cause and effect, there's a doer and there is a object.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the reason why you have I as the doer, you have the verb of descending, bringing down, and atifla is the
Object.
Is that clear for you now?
Yes.
Brilliant. I have a question. Sister Bilqis, go ahead. Assalamu alaikum.
Sir.
Alaikum salam. Yes.
Question is, sir, in the beginning when we were doing the Babi If'al, you said that from the regular three-letter verb nazala, we make anzala, that adds a meaning of a maf'ul in the verb. Like from fi'l lazim to fi'l mutaddi.
Correct.
And now again we are doing the nazala. So will you please explain what is the difference in this bab and the Babi If'al?
So causative happens, that's a very good question. Causative happens in both of these verbs.
Okay.
So in that one, the meaning of like awjaba. Awjaba means I made obligatory upon you. Or for example, adkhala means I inserted. When you insert something, you cause something, insertion in something. Or akhraja. Kharaja, he exited. Akhraja means he removed or he extracted something. Now, so what happens is that some verbs, their causative meaning will be achieved on this pattern. And sometimes the causative meaning will be achieved by adding an alif. Does that make sense? So there are there's two variations, two patterns. You'll need to refer to the dictionary on this verb. Does it come on the pattern of nazala or does it come on the pattern of anzala to give the meaning of causative itself? Both of them give the meaning of causative, but some verbs are conjugated on this pattern. Some of them are conjugated on the other pattern.
Okay, so if the verb nazala and anzala, we wanted to see the meaning side by side, what will be the difference?
So anzala will give the meaning of causative as well, and nazala will also give the meaning of causative as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. And also you can refer to the dictionary as well, and the dictionary will. I'll send this after. It's a really good question you asked, and I'll show you in the dictionary as well for you.
Okay, thank you.
And also, what I'll do, I'll show you the difference between the two as well. And when I come to the four-letter verb, af'ala, I think it's 3 examples down, and I'll show you the meaning as well. But causative is coming for that as well. Yes, someone else had a question?
Sheikh, so sorry, just wanted to clarify about the two difference. There's an additional difference in the nazala that it's happening gradually, and in anzala the action is happening all at once.
Yes, that is right as well. That is absolutely right. So that anzala comes in the meaning of a complete inzal, meaning the complete revelation. When it's anzala, in particular anzala verb, it gives the meaning of complete action happening at once, and tanzil, it's a gradual process as well. As you remember, but of course, if you see here denominative, so denominative means here tanzil, means a gradual. And if you go for the one which you're asking for, Babi If'al only comes for the causative, meaning one thing. So Babi Taf'il has 3 meanings: causative, intensive, and denominative. This is Babi Taf'il, but Af'ala only comes in the meaning of causative.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Now it's very clear.
Of course,
can I ask something?
There is other meanings as well. I'm not going to do that at the moment. There's about 3 or 4 other meanings for Babi If'al. I'll do that at book 4. I'll teach you those on book 4. Not yet. I want you to just understand these meanings, and there are other meanings as well. I'll teach you that in book 4. In the Munjid, they've got the other meanings as well, but I'll do that later with you. Yes, sister.
Thank you.
Sister, who was it? Shalabana?
Yes, Sheikh, please, will you explain? I didn't get how the transitive changed into intransitive in nazaltu minas sayarati and summa nazaltu.
Okay.
Yeah, please explain.
So here, when you say nazaltu, Now the meaning here, nazaltu min as-sayyara, I got down from the car. So I did the action myself. I did not do the action of going down upon someone. It's myself. I did the action, and there's no object required in this.
Okay.
So that's what's a transitive, intransitive verb. It doesn't require an object.
Yeah.
Now over here, whenever the verb is giving meaning of causing something upon someone, it's always you need to have two individuals. One is the person who's doing the action. The other is the object.
Okay.
So it says thumma nazaltu at-tifla. Then I got down. So I am the one is bringing someone else. So the action of bringing out or down is being done upon the child. So the child is the object where I am bringing down. So that's the reason why it's called a transitive verb. You have the verb, the doer, and the object.
Okay, thank you. So the second one where it says thumma nazaltu at-tifla, it means then I brought the child down.
Exactly.
Okay, okay.
Exactly.
Now it makes sense.
So
Okay.
at-tifla is the object. It has a fatha at the end.
Yes. Okay, thank you so
Sister
much.
Huma, is that clear for you as well?
Sheikh, I have a question on this one.
Yes.
Nazal min sayarati, right?
Yep.
I got down from the car.
Yep.
Isn't sayaratu acting as an object now?
No.
Where is
Mina sayarati is a preposition.
the whole thing is just a preposition?
Exactly.
Oh, you won't break it into.
No, I will not say it's an object. No, it's just
Okay.
it would treat it as a preposition.
The whole thing preposition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because min is from a sayarat is getting a kasra.
Okay.
That's how you treat that. Right. Good question. I like it. Okay. Next person I will ask, Sister Sakina Karam Ali, and then Sister Nobia.
Assalamualaikum.
Alaikum salam. Now the next one is darasa, he studied. And then darasa, he studied. So darasa, now of course, all three-letter verbs are not always intransitive, like nazalto. Sometimes a three-letter verb, as I said, some verbs who are three letters, they are transitive, and sometimes they are intransitive. For example, darasa, I studied it. If I say I studied it, does it make sense?
No.
Yes, it does. I studied it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if I say I studied that book or I studied it, did you study the maths book? Yes, I studied it. So the way to know the difference between a transitive and intransitive verb, if you put the word it or him, if it makes sense, it's a transitive verb. For example, dharabahu, he hit him. He hit him. Does it make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And same happens here. If I say I studied, he studied it, it makes sense. So this is an example to make you understand further of how to know whether the verb is a verb which requires an object, which there is a transitive, and if the verb doesn't require an object, is an intransitive verb. Now let's do it over here. Now darasa, he studied, and now it's coming in the meaning of causative. Darasa, he taught. He studied means that he studied himself. When you darasa, you're teaching someone. So you're being the cause of someone else to study. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now let's do the example. Darastu. Bismillah.
درست اللغة العربية. I studied Arabic.
I studied Arabic. Now I am the doer. Al-lughat al-arabiyata is the object. So this is a verb which has a verb, doer, and an object. Yes?
Yes.
Now it says here transitive to double transitive. Now what this means, it means that the three-letter verb, it was already a verb which required an object. Now when we put it on the pattern of darasa, he taught. Now it requires two objects. It requires two objects. How does it require two objects? Let's read the Arabic and translate it. Bismillah, and I'll help you.
درستك اللغة العربية. I taught you Arabic.
So the pronoun ka is referring to you. And of course, all pronouns, they are rigid, they don't change, but this pronoun is in the place of an object. So whenever pronouns come with a verb attached to it, they're always in the place of an object. So I taught you. What did you teach me? Arabic language. So the Arabic language is the second object. So you are the person, and the thing which I taught you is the Arabic language. So this is double object. Is that clear?
Yeah, that's clear. Yeah.
Right. Thank you ever so much for that, sister. So both of these are meaning of causative. Now, next student, Sister Nobia, can you come on the mic, please? Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. I just pray that I can get this through today and everyone understand this, because if I could get this through, this is one of the majority of the students in the Hausa, even online as well, in America, even online, even the people who are studying with online Hausa, all of them are trying to understand the verb meaning, the most challenging thing. So if I can do this and get this through today, that'd be great. So over here now, next one, qatala.
Right. He killed.
And then qattala.
He massacred.
Let's do the translation now in Arabic. Read the Arabic text, translate, and then we understand. So it says strengthening of the meaning, intense, and action done on large. Go ahead, Bismillah, read the Arabic, English as well, and explain.
Strengthening of the meaning, intensive, and action done on large scale or repeatedly. So, qattala al-mujrimu rajulan.
No, qatala. First one is qatala.
Qatala al-mujrimu rajulan. The criminal killed a man.
So he killed a man. There's no intensive action being done. He just killed a person, not severely. He killed him. That's it. There's no severity in the action itself. Next example.
Qattala al-mujrimu ahl al-qaryati. The criminal massacred the people of the village. So this is intensive.
Exactly. So in ayat tathir, when we say yutahhirukum,
tathira,
this is indicating upon a severe or a strengthening of the purification. So tahara yutahhirukum tathira. So tahara yutahhiru. It's on this pattern itself. So when our Sunni brothers say that the tathir, yutahiru, it just means cleanliness. No, it doesn't. It's a thorough purification of something. When it's a thorough purification, it means, and the word rijs has been used, and when we refer to the rijs in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to two types of rijs. Rijs say najasat, external najasat, and internal najasat, like worshipping shirk. Allah says in the Quran, shirk is rijsun. It's rijs. So all of these types of impurities, the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam are pure and cleansed from. So you will see that the verb meanings will help you to understand the Quran better, inshallah. Is that clear?
Yes.
Sheikh, can I ask a question about the doubly transitive?
Yes.
So darasa, he studied, is already a transitive verb?
Yes, darasa is already a transitive verb, and now it's become a double transitive verb. So in the Arabic language, you sometimes have verbs which require more than one object.
So if we say like darasa al-lughat al-arabiyya, that is just a simple transitive verb used in a sentence.
That's right. That's right.
And it becomes doubly transitive when we use it as darasa. Darastuka.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. For the first time, I can understand what doubly transitive means. Before this, up until now, it was very confusing.
You've come across this already?
Yes, yes, I came across this, but I couldn't understand what W transitive meant.
Yeah, so basically double transitive, what is meant, it's this itself.
Okay.
You're literally having to object itself.
Okay, very clear now. Thank you.
Okay, the next person on the mic,
Sorry, Molana, before you continue, can I just
Bismillah.
in Surah Qadr, when you have inna anzalnahu,
Fi
and
laylatil
then you
qadr.
have tanazzalul malaikatu. So is that an example of transitive and double
Okay.
transitive or not?
No. No,
Okay.
so they're slightly different that. So that
Okay.
one here, so
If
inna
it's
anzalnahu.
gonna be confusing, then I don't mind if it's okay.
Can I do this in the next class with you?
Yeah, sure.
So I'll put in a nutshell. The nutshell is this: is that anzala is he descended. Tanazzala is tanazzala yatanazzalu. Now, what's happened here? This is the verb. This is on this pattern here. The fa'ala nazala. So tanazzala yatanazzalu. There should be two tas. Because it's a feminine. It should be tatanazzalu, but it's tanazzalu because there's a ruling in the Arab in regards to the Quran as well that when you can drop the two tas if it's on the pattern of Bab Tafa'ul and say tanazzalul malaikatu. So the lam is quite confusing that one, unless you know the Arabic grammar, you will know that it's on the pattern of tanazzala yatanazzalu, and one ta of the present tense has been dropped.
Okay.
And I'll explain that more in detail next class.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I request Sister Zainab Ramji? And then after Sister Zainab Ramji, then Masuma Hassan as well, which is good to see, and Sister Butul, mashallah, Butul, Noor Muhammad is here, mashallah, and Bilqis and Sister Butul Salmana, I'll bring you on the mic as well. Bismillah. Alaikum salam. Let's do number this one, example, kasartu.
Shall I do it?
Yes, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Extensive, an action done thoroughly and with great force. So kasartul kubi, I broke the glass. But kasartul kubi is I smashed the glass. So one is broken, one is smashing it. So it's with force.
Exactly. An extensive.
Sorry?
So, yeah, exactly, with force. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So kasara he broke, kasara he smashed.
Exactly. Exactly. Is that clear? Yes, sister?
Yeah. Yes.
Clear. So the next person was going to be on the mic, sister, I think, I said Bilqis, I said. Yeah, go ahead, Sister Bilqis.
So I'll be reading the Jalast of his Safi.
So what I'm going to do first, there's no fa'ala, let's do fa'ala, and then and we will move to number 4 after that.
Okay, so fa'ala, collective action where 2 or more people join together. Okay, so kataba, from kataba to write is kataba.
Yeah, so
to correspond.
To correspond, or for example, haraba, haraba means war, or war, and haraba yuharibu means combat. Like there are 2 people who combat each other. And here, so remember this point, we hear in this pattern here, fa'ala, we have added a alif. So the additional letter which has been added, it's a alif. So the past tense is fa'ala, and the present tense, so fa'ala is the past tense. The present tense is yufa'ilu. What is it? Yufa'ilu. And as you can see here, what's happening to the fa here?
Fa is mutaharrik.
Fa is mutaharrik. So when we make the imperative, how will the imperative be?
So we will not need to add the hamzatul wasl, and we can just since fa kalma is already mutaharrik, we can start the word from over here.
Exactly. So and it will be give me an example of if it was var, if it was Dharaba yudharibu. What will be the imperative?
Okay, Zaraba, you, Zaribo, so Zarib,
Continue.
Zarib, Zariba, Zaribu, Zaribi, Zariba, Zaribna.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, you remember this? Yufa'ilu. Here, the ya is also coming with a dhamma. Yufa'ilu. And also in af'ala, yuf'ilu, these
Yeah.
few verbs, the ya in the beginning comes with a dhamma. And
Yeah,
in
that's a, you explained it. It's because the alif of the bab is removed from the madade. That's why we have to to differentiate between the mazid fi and the salasi. There is a zama on the the alamate mazare.
Exactly.
I think I hope I was correct.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. So that's the correct reason. Now, so af'ala yuf'ilu, then fa'ala yufa'ilu, right? And let's go and then to the next one. So kataba to correspond. Now I want you to babi if'al, af'ala.
Okay, af'ala. So
Example?
Baba jalasa, he
Yep.
said, and ajlasa, he seated.
So he's seated. When you make someone seated, what does that mean? You're making.
Yeah, you're adding maf'ul in the sentence, in the verb.
Exactly.
The action is not gonna be upon the fa'il. It will be on the maf'ul.
Excellent. So it says intransitive to transitive. So
to transitive.
So what, as you say, jalastu fi safi. Go ahead, Bismillah. You explain. Bismillah.
Okay, jalastu fi safi safil awwali. That means I seated the child by my side.
No, I sat in the jalastu fi safil awwali. I sat.
Okay. I sat in the first row. Okay, jalastu fi safil awwali. I sat in the first row. And وأجلست الطفل بجانبي. And I seated the child by my side.
Exactly. So seated is given the meaning of transitive. So
I seated means the person who is doing the action is being done upon somebody else.
Correct.
Okay, so from lazim to mutaaddi, jalasto was a fi'l lazim and ajlasto became the fi'l mutaaddi.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Is that clear for you?
Yes, it is.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Can I request next on the mic, Sister Matsuma, and then after Sister Matsuma, I'll bring Sister Batul Salman if she's still here, and Sister Najma Kanani, and also Sister Siddiqa as well. And Sister Shabnam as well, inshallah. We'll see what happens, inshallah. Bismillah. Sister Matsuma, are you there?
I'm Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I'm in the car. I'm still driving back.
Okay.
I've been trying to follow, but I'm lagging behind a little bit, I think, on the internet.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. When you back home, let me know. Sister Najma Kanani, can you come on the mic, please?
I think it will be.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam rahmatullah. So Sister Najma, can we kindly do this one here? Sami'a and Asma'a, and do the example, please.
Okay. Sami'a is he listened, and Asma'a, he made somebody listen.
So when you make someone listen, you're causing someone an action upon someone else. So this is causative. So let's do the translation. Let's read the Arabic and translate. Bismillah.
Okay. Sama'a al-mudarrisul Qur'ana. The teacher listened to the Quran.
The teacher listens to the Quran. So this is a transitive verb. You have the verb, and what's this?
This is the subject, the
doer,
and that's a doer, and that's the other one is the object, Quran.
Correct. Next one. Now, next example. Let's do this example and see what happens here.
Asma'a tulabul madrasal Qur'ana.
al-mudarrisa al-Qur'ana.
Al-Mudarrisa al-Qur'an. So the students, which is the subject,
Yep.
read out Asma'a, Quran, Qur'ana.
Yep.
That's why it's a fatha, Qur'ana, to the teacher.
Excellent.
So it's lil mudarrisa. That's
Exactly.
again, it's there are two objects there.
So this is double transitive.
Double transitive, yeah.
So transitive. So this was a transitive verb. We had the verb, doer, and object. Here we have the verb, doer, object, and object.
So you were saying that in darrasa.
Yep.
In darrasa, it is the action is made to do.
Yep.
And then this one is also the action is made to do strongly. Is it that?
No, here it comes to the meaning of causative. You're causing is not is only bab taf'il, which gives the meaning of strong, intensifying, or thoroughly. That's only for bab taf'il. Bab if'al doesn't give that meaning.
Okay.
Bab if'al doesn't is only bab taf'il. Good question you asked. Is that clear for you?
Yes, it is. Thank
you. Right. Where is Siddiqa Jafar? And then after Sister Siddiqa Jafar, Sister Batul Salman.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Sister Siddiqa. Now, over here now, we're doing the verb tafa'ala. Tafa'ala. Now, let's go first back to the original patterns where it says, now, this is something really, really, now, it says here in the meaning of reflexive. I'll explain what reflexive means. This is the meaning of this verb. Now, I'll explain reflexive in 1 second. Let's do the example, and then I'll explain what it means by that. So if we read the example, allama,
he taught.
Yep.
The allama, he learned.
So allama is the first step.
Yeah. So he taught. So that is he's teaching somebody else.
Exactly.
He taught somebody else. And the allama, he learned by himself. He didn't need an object there.
Yeah. So here let's do the example, and then I'll explain, and I hope I will explain this well. So reflexive of form 2. So reflexive, I'll explain. The word reflexive in Arabic is called mutawa'a. Mutawa'a means that the action which is being done from a verb, the action's result is being achieved. So when I'm teaching someone, you are learning.
Yeah.
So there is a two-way relationship. I teach, you learn.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that is called reflexive. It means that this is a continuation. For example, the word when I speak, there's two ways conversation. So a conversation continues itself. Let's read the example and see if he taught and he learned makes sense to yourself. Reflect, and it has now. This comes ta'allama always comes as a effect of a verb on the pattern of allama with a shadda. That's why it's referred to reflexive of form 2. So let's read the example and see if we understand it. Bismillah.
Sheikh, can
Just 1 second.
you please repeat?
Give me 2 seconds. This is a bit tricky one. Let's do the example and you will understand. Sister Siddiqa, let's read.
A bit bigger. I don't know why I can't read properly. Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Allamani Bilalun Sabaha. Is it Sabaha?
As-Sibahata.
As-Sabahata. Bilal taught me swimming. Ta'allam, ta'allamtu.
So allamani, let's break it down. Allamani Bilalun as-sibahata. So Bilal taught me swimming. So I learned swimming from Bilal. So meaning that the action which someone was doing to me, the effect of it is being achieved. Ta'allamtu as-sibahata. I learned swimming itself. So that's what reflexive means. It means that when you do it, when it's a continuation of another verb's action and it's been achieved. So Allamani, if Allamani Bilal taught me swimming, so he's teaching me. So when someone is teaching you swimming, what should be the end result?
I will swim.
And I will learn how to swim as well. So if someone is teaching me, I will learn. The effect of it is I will learn the swimming itself.
Sheikh, in the last class, you gave us the meaning for this. Is this correct, that action is being performed by the doer and the results are being achieved?
Action is being done by the doer and the result is being achieved. So sometimes that is correct as well, because the action has been done, and yes, and this is the other meaning as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So here the action is being done to. So look, how I'll explain. So the action is being done upon it. So if you look at this, Bilal. So Allamani, I am learning the action. Yes. So the action is done upon me, and I am the one who is achieving the result of learning how to swim. This is called reflexive.
Yeah.
I'll give you some more examples of reflexive of some other examples. I'll send you some books. I know this one, it's a bit shady here, and I'll give you some more examples on that one there, on this particular one. Make it a bit more clear.
I just asked Mulana, the first one, Bilal taught me swimming, that is transitive.
Correct.
So the second one, but there is object there, there is no object there. Ta'allamtu sabaha. So that is just intransitive.
It's so transitive to intransitive. So what it's trying to say here, it's also impersonal. So impersonal in the sense that there's no sibaha, it's an action upon himself. There's no object as such. Sibaha is not something external. It's within the person itself. It's a change of, as you could say, a change of state of a person, a change of stamina or a feature, a skill of a person.
Oh, okay.
That's what it means. Transitive to intransitive, also impersonal. That's what it tries to explain by that. But let me give me some time. I'll send you some more examples of this reflexive as well, because I'm not too happy with these. Example one, there should be three more examples for this. I'll send you some more examples for this one in particular.
Molana.
Yes.
In simple English, what does reflexive mean?
Reflexive means something, a result of something being achieved. So it's coming from the Arabic word mutawa'a, meaning that the action of a verb or something is being achieved. So for example, I'll give you an example. Yeah. If I give this example, this is a really good example. Now, when a person becomes, for example, in the state of impurity or a spiritual impurity, mujnib, now this is a spiritual state. Now, when you do the cleansing itself, you change the state from najasat to taharat.
Okay.
So that is called reflexive, that when you do the ghusl itself, you change your cleansiness from impurity to purity.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It will be cause and effect.
Yes, to some extent, cause and effect within a person, not upon someone else, it's upon yourself.
So Sheikh, in one of the classes, you also gave an example of from nazzala to yatanazzalu. Yatanazzala. So you said that the gradual coming down from Nazzala of the Quran, and then from to Yatanazzala, that action has already been achieved.
Yeah.
While it's coming down.
Yeah, yes, that is correct. That is a good example. But I'll give you some more as well. Yatanazzalu, that the action, it's been achieved as well. Correct. That is right. That is right. But I think I'll need to give a few more examples to get this a bit more clearer for everyone as well. Okay, let's move on, and I'll come back to this one again to you. Sister Batul Salman.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam. Babit tafa'ul. So babit tafa'ul. So in this one here, tafa'ala, you had, so Sister Siddiqa, give me 2 seconds. Sister Siddiqa, come back, and then I'll ask Sister Batul Salman. In tafa'ala, how many letters do you have additional?
Sorry, I was looking away. Which one are you talking about?
Tafa'ala, the one which you was doing early on.
Tafa'ala. So there are 5 letters there.
Correct. So how is it 5?
Because ain, there's 2 ains.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the ta in the beginning as well.
2 ains and lam.
Correct. Absolutely right. So this is a 5-letter verb. So just remember that this is a 5-letter verb, and I'll give you then the other. The fa'ala is the past tense, and the present tense is what?
Af'al.
No, the fa'ala, the present tense will be yatafa'alu. So the present tense will be
Yatafa'alu.
Yatafa'alu. So tafa'ala
Fa'alu.
Yatafa'alu. And the imperative will be for this verb?
So you drop the ye and you start from te. So taf'al.
Tafa'al.
Fa'al.
So I'll give you an example. Takallama yatakallamu. The imperative will be? Drop the ya.
Takallam.
Takallam. Fatah. The lam should have a fatah. Takallam. Sister Siddiqa. Takallam. Takallama yatakallamu. Takallam. Conjugate the 6 forms now, please. Takallam.
Takallam. Takallama. Takallamu. Takallami.
Kallama.
Takallama. Takallamna.
Takallamna. Is that clear for you now?
Yeah.
Okay. But I need to, there's one thing pending. Bab default meaning, I'll do that with you shortly. Sisters Batul Salman.
Yes, sir.
Bismillah. Bab tafa'ul. Bab tafa'ul.
It's the sixth form of the verb and a reflexive of form 3. So form 3, which has a connotation of 2 parties being involved.
Yep.
Here, this is the 6th.
Yep. So it's reflexive of form number 3 of fa'ala. So go ahead.
So, the famous example of Surah Naba, Amma yatasa'alun, about what are they asking one another. So it's from the word sa'ala. It becomes tasa'aluna. It's a plural 3rd person verb. And the second example is Tanawamal jasusu wa sami'a kalaman nas. The spy pretended to be asleep. Tanawama from naum. He pretended to be asleep. Wasami'a, and he heard kalaman nas, the talk of the people. So this is form 6, yes.
Correct. Is that clear for you?
Yes.
Right. Then the next one will be our next sister. Okay, Batul's. Sister Shabnam.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Alaikum salam. Then after Sister Shabnam, Sister Zebun Isa Kanji.
One quick question. Does always the 6th form have this pretending connotation? Like now to sleep. So
Thank you.
Amma yatasa'alun would be they are all pretending.
No. There are 2 meanings for it. One of the meaning is asking each other, and the other meaning is Tanawama, to pretend. For example, I'll give you an example. Thank you for reminding me. It slipped my mind. Now, there's a hadith in regards to Imam Hussain alayhi salam. It says, Man baka or abka. Man baka is cry. Man baka wa abka, or he makes someone else cry. Or tabaka. Or tabaka. Tabaka is on the pattern of Babit Tafa'ul, meaning that
Pretend to cry. Okay.
exactly
Makes a sad face. Okay. From there.
exactly. Even making a sad face for the Azadari of Mawla Hussain alayhi salam, you will get the reward as if you're crying. This is the only ibadah which we have in Islam, that even pretending for you crying, you will get the reward as if you're crying. Other ibadat, if you pretend something, your ibadat is annulled and voided. But for Mawla Hussain alayhi salam, if you can't cry, making a face like crying, you'll be rewarded for that.
Subhanallah. So, sir, how would we distinguish between sa'aluna and yatasa'aluna? As in, the third form of this verb sa'ala and the sixth form. Both will be asking one another.
Yes, both of them are asking one another. That is correct. So one is the effect. So sa'ala, he asks. Yatasa'alunu is more people are asking, is more individuals involved. In tasa'ala, yatasa'alu, there are more individuals, and sa'ala yusa'alu is probably two individuals. It says reciprocal for form number 3. The form of sa'ala yusa'ilu, it's reciprocal two individuals. But in this one here, tafa'ala yatafa'alu, are more individuals involved here.
But even for sa'ala, if we have the plural form, it will be more individual. So, like, why the ta is being used? Is there any specific meaning addition over here?
Which one? This
Like,
ta?
yeah, in amma yatasa'alun, if we use the word sa'ala in its plural form, sa'aluna, so why specifically yatasa'aluna? It could be yasa'aluna. I don't know.
The reason why, because it conveys a slightly more of a subtle difference between sa'ala. That's both are asking. Now here, a lot of individuals are asking, as you say, as a group of action. So there was only one individual, but here there is more individuals involved in this action being established itself. So it's trying to show that this is a public events, or a more of a large scale action which is being done.
Okay, so like one of the meanings of the sixth form could probably be a group action, and another would be to pretend.
Yes, that's right.
Sheikh, in form 3, is there one of the connotation is that the action is started or initiated by the doer? In form 3?
Initiated by the doer. I can't remember. No, only the most important one which I remember myself. It's reciprocal. Both individuals are doing it together.
Okay, like in like qatala, it means to fight with one another, but the action is initiated by one of the persons, which is who's the doer.
Yeah, yes,
the doer
right.
starts the action.
Yes, absolutely.
Initiates the action.
Yes, that is correct. That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
Right. Next one. I'm going to move on 7 and 8, and I want to finish this off before the next 5 minutes or so. Who did I say was going next? Zebunisa Kanji. Sister Zebunisa?
It was Shabnam.
Where is Shabnam?
I'm here, Sheikh. That's okay.
Apologies.
Not at all. It's my Barbie, so it's okay.
Okay, in kasara, so in fa'ala. So this itself, let's go to it. Normally, in fa'ala, it gives the meaning of passive. So passive, I will explain what it means by passive. Let's go to the example, and then we will go. Where's it gone? So let's do the example. So passive form of 1, transitive to intransitive. Let's read the examples. Go ahead, Shabnam. Kasara.
Okay, so kasara, to break, in kasara, to get broken.
Okay.
And the example reads as kasaratul kuba, I broke the tumbler. In kasara al-kubo, the tumbler broke.
Okay, how is this passive? I'll explain. So when you say in kasara al-kubo, we're saying that the cup broke, but who broke the cup? We don't know.
Right. Okay.
That's why it's called passive of form 1.
Because we don't know who the subject of doing the breaking is.
Exactly. So when we say in kasara dhahri, in kasara dhahri, my back has broken. Who broke the back? We don't know.
Okay.
So in kasara al-kuba, it's passive that I broke the cube. No, in kasara al-kuba, the tumbler broke itself. The cup broke itself.
Okay.
So that's what is meant by passive of form 1. Like the form 1 is passive, this is passive as well. So it's right. So here, sorry, let me explain. Kasartu al-kuba, I broke the tumbler. So I am doing the action. Now this is now in kasara, it comes the passive of this verb itself. Kasartu, I broke.
Okay.
So I broke the tumbler, but here in kasara al-kubu, the tumbler broke. So it's coming in the passive form of the form 1, which is kasartu, I broke.
Sheikh, can you give another example of this one?
Okay, let me give you example. Let me just check. I've got it on my phone. There's just give me 1 second. I think I've got it on here. Okay, I'll give you an example of the. I'll give you now that both of the. Okay. I need to check. I haven't got it with me.
Okay, because I'm a bit confused in this form.
No, because there's a handout which I had on my phone, which I had 3 or 4 examples on this. I need to send that from that book.
Okay.
I'll send that to you across for because there's 2 examples or 3 another examples of kasara being passive itself. I'll send that across to you in the group.
Okay, thank you.
That's fine. Okay, finally. Sister Zebunisa Kanji. Sorry. Before Zebunisa, Sister Shabnam, in kasara, how many letters are being added here?
2.
2 letters are being added, yeah? So
yes.
How many letter verb is this? This is a
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letter verb.
5 letter verb. Now the imperative of this, how would be the imperative of this verb? So look at this here. In fa'ala yanfa'ilu. So the ya is removed. Once the ya is removed, because this verb's past tense had an alif, that alif is brought back in the imperative.
Yeah.
So it becomes
in fa'il.
In fa'il. So in fa'ala yanfa'ilu, in the imperative in
fa'il.
In fa'il. And the next one, if so, Sister Zabunisa, can you come on the next? Jazakallah, sister. In kasir, conjugate before you go. In kasir, 6 forms. Sister Shabnam.
In kasir. Can you point it out to me again where I'm looking, please?
This one here. In kasir, imperative.
In fa'il or in kasir? Sorry, I see in.
Yeah, I know it's in fa'il on there, but you could.
I see.
In kasir is on the same pattern as that, as the imperative. In kasir.
Okay, so in kasir, in kasira,
in kasiru,
in kasiru, Inkasiri, and then inkasira, and then inkasirna.
Inkasirna, excellent, brilliant.
I'm reading it, Sheikh. I don't know it. I'm sorry. I'm still practicing it.
Okay, next time I'll penalize you then for that. Okay. Tree, please try to memorize it because it's quite important, because when we go to the next book itself, we need to memorize them, and then I'll be able to read the Arabic texts with yourself. Now,
Inshallah.
next one, number 8, is reflexive again.
Sorry, Sheikh, before
Yep.
you move on, I know Sister Zahra said about the inkasara verb.
Yep.
I'm a bit confused because inkasara, it's to break, and inkasara is he broke. So huwa inkasara is exactly the same spelling as to get broken, inkasara.
No, so kasara, break, and inkasara, to get broken.
Yeah. But when you sent us those sheets,
Yep.
and inkasara was one of them.
Yep.
And so when you have huwa inkasara,
yep,
it's exactly the same spelling. So I'm a bit confused with that. So huwa inkasara, huma inkasara, hum inkasaru.
Yep.
So that's what I'm
Yeah,
a bit confused about that.
Yeah, so that meaning which I sent you in kasara, it should have been to get broken, and kasara, to break.
Okay.
Okay, correct that mistake there.
Okay.
So in kasara, to get broken, and kasara, to break.
Yeah.
Okay, that's because what I was doing, I was not trying to keep it simple for yourselves.
Okay.
Initially, so I don't want to confuse you. So yes, but now you've moved on. Now just correct that meaning to kasartu, to break, and in kasra, to get broken itself.
So Sheikh, the al-kubu will be the naib file in this case.
No, it will be still now it will be, because it's passive. The meaning is passive, but al-kubu will be treated as the file in kasara.
Oh, okay.
So it's the meaning which has changed, but al-kubu we will still say is the file in kasara.
Okay.
Okay. So it's passive in that sense. Right. Sister Zabunisa Kanji, Babi Iftial.
Alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam. Ifta'ala. So how many letters are here?
5 letters.
5 letters. So alif and ta will always be added for this itself. So this is a really good one. Now let's go back to the original. So this comes in the reflexive of 1. So it means that the reflexive, again, meaning that the action which is being done, the action which is being done, the result of that action is being achieved. I'll explain. The farmer, I'll give an example. The farmer gathered the sheep. So they gathered.
Yes.
So meaning that the action of the farmer, which he was trying to do, gathering,
yes,
is now being achieved. That's what reflexive of 1 means. For example, tahura al tahartu nafsi fatahartu. Tahartu nafsi, I was cleaning myself, so I became pak.
Yes.
Tahir. So it means that the formation of the action which is being done, the result of that action is being achieved.
Sheikh, please repeat this Arabic sentence.
Which one?
The tahartu nafsi.
Tahartu nafsi. Tahartu nafsi. Fatahartu nafsi. So tahartu nafsi. Fatahartu nafsi. Or fatahartu, it's fine as well. Both of them. Fatahartu, so tahartu nafsi. Fatahartu, meaning that I cleansed myself, so I became cleansed. Meaning the result of the cleansiness led me to become pak now. So that is reflexive of this one here. Babit number 5. The fa'ala. طهرت نفسي وطهرت فتطهرت. So over here, the one which you're doing now, Sister Zabunisa,
Yes.
ifta'ala, reflexive. If ta'ala is the past tense, the present tense will be
يفتعل
and the imperative will be
يفتعل.
ifta'il. Correct. So ifta'il is the imperative. Now, jama, if you do the example, and this will be jama'a.
So افتعل. جمع together. استمع to assemble.
Yep. So the example for this, I'll write this example in the group. Jama'atul junda. Jama'atul junda fajtama'a. I'll write this example down. Jama'atul junda. I gathered the army. I gathered the army, so they gathered. I'm writing this example down, 1 second. Fajtama'a. Fajtama'a. So this means that it's a continuation of a reflexive. I gathered the army, so they gathered. Is that okay, Sister Zabun? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Can you do the imperative for me for this?
But it said that to assemble. To assemble means, is it that the thing is, to assemble means to gather again the thing which is not together.
Yes. So the army was dispersed. For example, the army was dispersed in the battlefield, and I gathered or assembled them together. I got them together.
I got them together. Yes.
Right. Can you do the imperative of ijtami'? 6 forms, please.
Ijtami', ijtami'a, ijtami'u, ijtami'i, ijtami'a, ijtama'na.
Ijtami'na.
Ijtami'na.
Ijtami'na. Ahsanti. Right. Is that clear for you?
Alhamdulillah, yes.
Right. Finally, sisters, can I request Sister Huma?
Yes, Sheikh.
Sister Huma, last one, which is Baba Istif'al. Now, there are how many letters on this one here?
We have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 3 plus that. I've got 6.
6.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
So always this verb comes in these meanings, either of seeking, asking, regarding, or judging. These are the 4 meanings this verb comes under. Like, for example, as istighasa. For example, the istighasa itself, it's seeking.
Yes.
So that is the reason why this form is used for. So it's either used for asking, isti'ana, yasta'inu. We say istighasa, seeking or asking, or regarding or judging. So let's do the examples, and it will make it more. Okay, then I'm going to examples. So the example is easy for us. So ghafara, he forgave, and istaghfara, he sought. He sought forgiveness. Sister Huma?
Yes, Sheikh, where are you? I don't know.
Yeah, there's no example I thought they had an example. There's no example on there. So ghafara, ghain fara means that he forgave, and istaghfara, he sought
forgiveness.
He sought forgiveness. For example, alima means he knew.
Correct.
And if you want to seek assistance or help, you'll say is inquiry. You'll say ana ista'lama. Ista'lama, he inquired. Yasta'lamu, he is inquiring. So, Sister Zahra, you probably know this. You will probably see signs in the airports. Maktabatul Isti'lam, inquiry office. So
I'll start observing it more clearly this time.
yeah. So you say
normally we just look at the English.
Yeah, it would say inquiries isti'lam. Isti'lam, alima means to know, he knew, and seeking to know, inquiry is isti'lam.
Okay.
And nasara, Sister Huma, it means
Nasra means
help. And then it ask for help.
Istansara is ask for help.
Correct. And hasuna?
Hasuna be good or beautiful, was good or beautiful. And istasana, regarded good or beautiful.
Regarded good or beautiful, exactly. Now, can you kindly do the 6 forms for the imperative for istaghfara, which starts istaghfir, the 6 forms?
Istaghfir, istaghfira, istaghfiru, istaghfirta, istaghfari, istaghfarti, istaghfara, istaghfarna.
Istaghfirna. Yeah, istaghfir, istaghfira, istaghfiru, istaghfiri, istaghfira, istaghfirna. Excellent. Jazakallah. There's a few students which I wasn't able to bring. I'll bring them onto the mic next lesson. Apologies from my side that I wasn't able to bring everyone onto the mic. But inshallah, I'll bring you on the mic next lesson. Inshallah, remind me, and I'll bring you straight away onto the mic as well. Inshallah, I hope I was able to make some sense and was able to understand some of these verb conjugations. And inshallah, I will do it when I get the next opportunity. And I want to continue the book next lesson. And then the other things which are remaining, I will try to cover that in maybe a different session itself, inshallah. Any questions from anyone?
What is the meaning of adda? Sorry.
Yes. So adda comes from the word ada, alif dal, and a ya at the end. Ada. Ada means to perform or to perform.
To perform.
Yeah. Adda yu'addi means to perform. Can come meaning either to perform or to perform rituals itself. And because of the text we was reading, it means to perform your rituals of Hajj.
Okay.
Sorry, not Hajj, Umrah.
So Sheikh, the correct word is with the shadda.
Which one? Adda. So the noun is ada.
The noun is ada.
Yeah, the noun is ada, but the verb is adda yu'addi. That's the actual verb itself. Ana hal addayta salat? Have you performed salah? That's the past tense.
Okay, and Sheikh, in the PDF for tawajjaha.
Yep.
Yatawajjahu, in the imperative, is there a typo because there's a fatha on the ha in the end in the PDF?
Thank you for asking that question, sister. I was about to ask that.
Yes, there's a typo mistake there. Yes.
Yeah, because I could see.
Yeah, so there should be a sukoon there. Tawajjah, tawajjaha, tawajjahu. I will do this, inshallah. I'll try to.
Even in the feminine, it's tawajjahi.
Yeah, tawajjahi, my mistake.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask that the kasartu, the word kasara, what will be the imperative of kasara?
Kasara yaksiru iksir.
Iksir. Thank you.
Okay, I'll correct this mistake. I'll send this again in the group again with the correction itself, and I'll try to arrange. Is everyone? Because some of you sisters are working, I'll try to squeeze on Thursday a session during the afternoon, about 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock, because one of my classes from the Hausa, I've dropped it. So I've got some time in the afternoon, like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock UK time. So, okay, let me message in the group, inshallah, we decide from there. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. So, iltimas dua, apologies for a slight long class, but inshallah,